Hey there, welcome back guys. In this video I'm going to show you what to do before you fly your drone, or actually I'm going to run through the process of what I do that'll help you out. So without any further ado, let's get started. You got your drone, you want to fly it, but there's certain things you gotta do before you have that out-of-the-box experience, which sometimes they don't share with you at the store, or even if you buy your drone from Amazon. So basically, hopefully your battery's charged, and this is before you actually lift it up and take it into the air. So what you want to do is get your trust certificate first, and then after that, do any, to go down the path wherever the rabbit hole takes you. And then what I like to do is I like to go into here. I'll just share with you my screen on the controller, and there are a few apps I like to launch first. So first I will launch Firefox to make sure there aren't any TFRs. If you have a hotspot on your phone, use your phone has a hotspot, so then you can have the Wi-Fi on here. And in this case, I have 3 tabs open. So the first tab will be to check for TFRs. So as you can see, you can go to the FAA website and select state. And for me, I'm going to select where the Bigfoot and UFO sightings were. Can anybody guess which state that was? Not Utah. Nope, so I'm a little further down. New Jersey, that's right. And then we'll just select go. And wow, look at that, only 1 TFR. Remember there was like 59 or 60? Well, looks like things are back to normal again until I start flying. All right, knowing that, move forward, there aren't any TFRs. Okay, whoops. And then I'm gonna go back into Firefox again. You could use any browser, it doesn't have to be Firefox. Then I'm going to check for to make sure the airspace I'm in isn't low altitude. And DJI used to have that built in, but if you go to the vfrmap.com, and when it loads, right, it'll tell you where you are. But we want to click on it's so cold, can't speak. It's helicopter. And you see, there's that gray screen that used to be there before by default by DJI, but now we have it here. And if you don't have it on your receiver, just check it on your phone and try to pinpoint your area. I can find where I am. It'll zoom in and self-correct. And I am gonna zoom in a little bit more. Wyckoff, Hillsdale, and right there. I'm closest to Patterson, Hackensack area, and see that's the area that's grayed in, which before is now gone. If we go check our maps on the DJI Go Fly, right? If we go here and then check on the map, it doesn't tell us if we're in a low altitude zone, because a lot of times in this area, helicopters will fly so low where I'm actually dodging them or like just waiting. The last time I was flying with my buddy Ken, and we just like, let's wait. And he just waited. We waited until the planes, flew wherever it was that they needed to go. So knowing that, moving forward, you gotta know where you are to make sure that you're not in a low altitude zone, because you could have the out-of-box experience and say, hey, I want to fly where Lou flies. Right, you bring your drone here, you're not going to know, and then next thing you know, I don't want to know. Anyway, knowing that and moving forward, now that we've checked, we don't want to activate any special effects, so I'm not sure, that's just a little accident there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go here, back to here, and just make sure we're pretty much there. And then you just check air control, the air control app, make sure you're within the range and the altitude and have permission to go as high as you want to go. Okay, so then what I'll do is I will launch the Air Aware, and as you can see, it knows where I am, because remember, the Wi-Fi is connected from my phone. Okay, and you see there's already a drone in the area. That would be me, because I did that from my phone, but I'll show you what you would do. See, drone fly active area, and then you can click on that little thing and it tells you where you are. I don't need those notifications, but what you can do is you can go here, right? And then you have more, etc. And then in this case, you can do all that other fun stuff that the app wants you to do, which is, set your notifications, see, notify and fly. So I'm going to click next. I'm going to click commercial, since I have my part 107. And then I looked, this is good. Oh wow, flight radius. I haven't seen that one before. You can update the radius, or do whatever you want. Just keep the drone within visual line of sight. Sometimes we use GMRS radios, like if I'm here and someone else, my kids are over there, or someone else, so we can, my observers do that. But you need a special license to use the GMRS, but it's free. It doesn't require any exam. Then you can edit that in the video by just capturing room tone, or let's say the atmosphere here, record it. See, we just recorded the ambience, and then you just throw that in to wherever that part was where you were like with your so-called walkie-talkie, or like I say, GMRS radio. So now you know how to do that. Update radius, and then we'll select next, and then you select how long. 60 minutes. It's about the average you'll get from 3 batteries, or even 2 with the Mavic/Mavic, and then submit. And then, whoops, something went wrong. Looks like your airspace alert did not go through as planned. Please try again. It's okay. So then we'll just go here and go to more and click less, and then click cancel. Do that. And you know why? Because I didn't click on the prompts. FAA registration, you gotta have your drone registered with the FAA if it's over a certain weight, okay? Drone labeling. We actually have our stickers on there from the Drone Pilot Institute, which is great. I believe you could do up to 3, and if you do more, you have to put in a request via email, which I've done before because I have more than one drone. So it works out really well. So, and you get your stickers in less than a week. It looks really pretty. All right, knowing that, moving forward. Next, pilot health. I'm just feeling under the weather. Don't fly, all right, when you're not well. And pilot state of mind. My state of mind is, it's there, but not really there because I'm right here focusing on this. Aircraft inspection. Check your aircraft, all that other fun stuff before your flight. Air safety, knowing around, know if there's a drone ordinance, or if the town requires you, to have anything addition. Because when you own the town, you run the town. So don't think like, oh, I've got my Part 107, or the before you fly app says I can go. No, it doesn't work like that. Every town has their own ordinance and rules and regulations when it comes to. Some towns would be like, my town would be like, have fun, just be careful. And they tell you to follow the rules of the Part 107, but there's a town that's 5 miles from here where I had to get a permit. There's a video on that, and you have to stay within the radius of what they give you for your permission slip. So if you want to fly in additional locations, your permit will say where in the town you'll be taking off from. So know that. Don't think that just because you got the drone, you're good to go, because you're not really good to go. And just because the app says you're good to go, no. Or your license says you're good to go, no. So just know that. Anyway, there'll be a video in the link in the description, and select next, and next, and I believe that's it. See, that's the only downside to this, because it keeps asking you to notify and fly. And then as you can see, if we go here into the, it says there's already, active drone in the area, and if I check my phone, right, my phone, hold on. I'll probably be like overkill with the notifications. And yeah, no, it's just one. So here, so you guys can see. Good. So we got that. Anyway, on that note, well, you could choose to do it from your app or your phone. The phone was a little bit more streamlined. You just press it, set it, and forget it. This you could see, it's it is what it is. And then once you do that, right? Now what you want to do is you want to check the weather. Even though it's cold, freezing, not too windy, no wind, but you want to make sure your drone can handle the weather. So then we launch the Dronecast, right? And Dronecast will launch. I'll probably have to edit this because it's sideways. And make sure your phone is connected to the Wi-Fi. And it'll load. And the beauty of Dronecast, I have the one on my phone that I use a lot. What I do before I come out, I don't do it out here. If you go, you get the wind breakdown hourly, but with the paid version, you can get like the whole day and the rest of the week. But most of all, if you go to settings, right, and you click on your drone, you type in your drone, Mavic 3 Pro, select your drone, and look at that. It tells you whether or not your drone can handle the current conditions. So you're like, okay, minus 10, 40 kilometer, per hour wind, which is great in the GPS. So which is actually apply new settings, because now I know moving forward that when I see, the wind and etc. when it loads, I know, oh, my drone could handle that. And then, oh wow, like that plane right there, it's so low. Like literally, let me see if you can see it. Hold on, well that's low. Anyways, it's so low that you'd be doing this with your drone, like having an oh shit moment. And there we go. Look at that. And look at that. Actually, let me pull back. I don't know if you can see it, but it's low because they're on their way to the closest airport. Knowing that, moving forward, and as you can see, look, 6 kilometers per hour wind, which is fine. -7, 8, 9, 10, so 3 degrees less than, you know, the restrictions of the drone, like, you know, would probably reach its breaking point. So knowing that, moving forward, you always got to look out. So now you've done everything you needed to do, and now you're good to go, almost good to go. There's another plane right up there. That's why you got to be careful. You have that moment where you're like, oh shit, you're like dodging them. Some of them fly really low. I mean, they're not. I don't think that one's as high, but I've seen helicopters fly as low as like 500 feet or like 4 something, where the municipality building is down there. So you got to be careful. You got to know your area, and because we're in an area where planes are on your way to land. And that's it. So now you're good to go, almost good to go. Now you just got to make sure, after you did all that you have enough space and you can see what you're doing on top of that. So now we're just going to go into the drone app. Not this one, the DJI Fly. And click here. Make sure you can feel your fingers, because if you can't feel your fingers because it's too cold, don't do it. You know, it's not worth it. And then now, hopefully, as you can see, my drone is here, but my map is here, but my camera is nowhere. Because we reset it. Voila. I was like, wait, where did it go? So now you make sure everything's set. Make sure you can see your picture. Make sure you can see your surroundings. Make sure you can see everything on the map. Sometimes you might have to connect your phone to the Wi-Fi so that you can, you know, see the map. And as you can see, there's a map. Sometimes it's zoomed out or zoomed in. But if you can't see any of that, don't go up, you know, because you don't want to have an oh shit moment and not know where you are if you can't see your maps or yourself. All right, knowing that and moving forward. And once that plane passes, and we will go up and have ourselves a good time. We got to be a little bit careful. Make sure. Actually, this is our landing pad right over here, which is right here. And remember, even though it's at -7, you got to remember that when you go higher up, it's going to be colder, right? So then you're going to be stressing everything out to its maximum breaking point, right? The higher up you go, the colder it gets. And so we're at, oh wow, 41% battery. I like to bring my battery back when it's at 35%, but I just want to cover up one more thing. And then when you're good to go, before going north, south, east, or west, I like to make sure first the drone is about 200 feet up in the air, let's say 210, right? And then put the camera where I need it to be. And just do a full 360, making sure there aren't any other drones in the area, because there are some folks that will have the out-of-box experience and launch their drone, and they're not going to tell you, oh wow, that looks pretty nice. And then we will go one more loop. We're at 38%, a little bit of a bummer. We can go a little bit of ways, not too far. And I believe that's our point of destination. Now, remember, we're 215 feet up, so we're higher than all the power lines and the trees, and then you can move forward at home point. And then voila. And then you can have yourself a good time. Just be cautious, be careful. I remember we're at 36%, and I like to bring it back, at least have it landed at 35. And the reason why is because, given that the area that we're in, it was 35, so much for that building. We'll have to turn back because need time to land, given that we have the trees here. We have to get the drone into that certain point. But with 3 batteries, you're golden. You're going to get a lot of time. But remember, when it's cold, the drone isn't going to operate at its optimal experience anyway, right? And so now we can bring it down because we're at 33%. This is what I like to do. I've seen some guys, they're like, it'll come back naturally. I don't know, I don't like to do that. And plus I got 3 batteries, so, you know. And plus we have to record the ending. And plus I gotta take the footage off the drone. And plus I don't want to be charging it as a ground zero. Battery level 0. Plus I gotta have dinner. No, I'm just kidding. Alright, so let's bring it in. And then, you know, you just don't know how fast it's gonna go down between now and the time we bring it in. See, we have to maneuver it around those trees. And now we can just swing it around. Whoop, maybe bring it in some. There's a tree over there. Watch your surroundings. Again, this is why I gotta watch the surroundings. Whoop, and left is right, and right is left when you're bringing it in. So you have to sort of be able to think backwards, but do those in baby increments so that you don't accidentally bang something. And that's it. We're at 28%. Anyway, I hope this video helped you. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below, or ideas for other videos. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.